Warning, you're about to watch a podcast from verified entrepreneurs who have dedicated the rest of their lives to creating new sources of income. I don't allow anyone on this podcast unless they are legit and get the stamp of my approval. John is a verified dropshipper that has been crushing it, and he definitely does. He scaled one of his stores to 200K in sales, and let me emphasize that. One of his stores. Lord knows how many other stores he possibly has. John is one of the only dropshippers that I honestly trust. He's a 21-year-old from Orange County, and he also owns his own automation agency where he brings in clients and runs stores for them. We discuss it more in the video because it's so intriguing to me. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoy the podcast and enjoy the episode. Thank you. Hey guys, we got a special guest in the house. My boy John pulled up. What's good, John? Ooh, the red goods. Let's go. And just like that, guys, round 3 at the podcast. I have my boy, John. John is with me. John is an e-com god. You know, right now he was just actually fixing my Shopify, or not Shopify, my Facebook ads. Legend when it comes to it, man. I just want to give you, a big round of applause for John.
Hey,
how are you, John? How are you?
Very good, bro. I appreciate you having me on, man.
Thank you for getting into this podcast. I just want to say thank you, man. I've been able to touch base with you for a couple months now. Got to, figure out who you are as a person. You're very genuine. I want to say that first off. And you're a hard worker, and I respect that. So that's why, this podcast is going to be really informational for the audience, because we're going to go ahead and dive deep down into what you got to offer, what you do as an entrepreneur, and everything like that. So let's get started. Who is the real John, and what's his upbringing looking like?
100%, man. So appreciate you with that. That's like definitely something that entrepreneurs right now, especially like our age, our generation, real recognizes real 100% with this.
Definitely.
So that's why I really like what you're doing and see your hustle every day. So yeah, man, I started off as a entrepreneur since I've been little, bro. I've been doing this stuff for probably over 10 years now. I've been selling stuff just flipping stuff at school. Started my first business when I was 15, and just always had that entrepreneur blood. So
wow.
It really started growing and growing. Got into the e-com space about 4 years ago now. And then once I finally got an e-com, man, I was like, this is where I need to be. So I've been doing e-com for about 4.5 years now total. Shopify dropshipping specifically for the past couple years, and then now white labeling e-commerce brands. So that's mostly what I do right now. Been doing this stuff for seems like forever. But
so you're saying you used to flip things in high school? Because I used to do the same thing. I used to sell chips. I used to
sell shoes. I used to flip all sorts of
Okay, so
things.
give me an example of your best day at school. What did you flip, and what was your best day at school? Because I have mine.
Man, I mean, I wasn't making too much money back then,
yeah,
but I was so happy making a couple $100, buying a pair of shoes, flipping them.
Oh my god, yeah.
Doing stuff like that. I would go to garage sales. I would go to Goodwill, stuff like that, and then go on eBay, offer up, flip stuff like that. I was doing a lot of different things to just try and make money right now.
Did you ever sell it to the kids at your high school? Did you used to sell it online?
Mostly online, but
Jeez.
I mean, I did some stuff in school too, but it was mostly just online stuff, man. I knew that online's where it's at.
Yeah, man. I kind of I was selling chips at first. I was like, yo, bro, buy
the chips.
Buy these hot Cheetos, bro. Take my phone number. Whenever you need Cheetos, bro, you just call me. Meet me under the tree at the lunchtime, and I'll get you chips, bro. So,
you're like the drug dealer with Cheetos.
Pretty
man.
much, bro. I got to the point where I was outsourcing to other people, and I was just giving them a commission. And I took this very seriously. At the best, I mean, Cheetos are not profitable. Sneakers are. But, at the end of the day, I was making $75 a day.
Yeah,
so that was a pretty big deal for me, bro.
That's actually decent.
I was going crazy with it. And, at the end of the day, I guess I got too big. And the principal found out. Principal sat me down, took all my candies, took all my chips, because I brought the bag over to school. And he knew in the morning I had a full loaded bag. So he called me in. He was like, Ishmael Khan, please report to the office. I came in the office. I didn't know it was from my Cheetos, obviously. So I just took them with me. Next thing you know, open your bag, sir. I was like,
let's go. See, now that better be my kid when I if my kid's going to get in trouble, we better be doing stuff like that.
Yeah. So he pretty much said, yo, you can't be doing this. Either you take these Cheetos and, we take these Cheetos, or you're getting expelled, basically. So, I let him take them, end the story. And after that, I couldn't be selling them anymore because they're on to me.
Yeah,
so, obviously, I didn't do it anymore. And then I didn't have the whole entrepreneur mindset. I mean, I did, but I wasn't, you know, clear.
You didn't realize it yet.
Exactly.
You just knew it was in you, but you just didn't know where to go with it.
It was natural when it came to it. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, man. When I got started, I mean, a lot of people probably resonate with this. Is like when throughout my whole life, I've always wanted a ton of stuff. I always wanted to like do big things. Always see myself do big things, but I never knew where I was going to go. I never knew like how I was actually going to get there. I just knew that I would get there, right? So the biggest thing is just having that conviction, having that like mindset of knowing that you will go do big things, even if you don't know where or like have the roadmap yet. You know, like having just that mindset, envisioning yourself being in that spot that you want to be in, having the things you want to have, you know, being with the people you want to be with. If you have that mindset, if you envision that right now and feel like it's already real. See, I always thought it was real. I would like talk to my parents.
So who gave you that mindset? Because a human is basically a product of everything that they were told.
100%.
So who gave you that specific mindset? Is there something?
My parents were like both in business. They've done their own businesses. But it honestly, like what they did, what I saw them run was like brick and mortar businesses, right? So I saw the struggles that they had to go through. It was like a lot of stress for them, a lot of pain problems, you know, losing money, all this sort of stuff. And I honestly had a bad taste of like owning a business. I actually didn't want to until I was like 15. Like I was like scared of it, right?
What flipped for you?
Started reading, watching YouTube videos.
So you started reading at 15, man?
Yeah, man. I got into some good books. How to Win Friends and Influence People.
At 15?
Yeah. Started really focusing on law of attraction, all of that sort of stuff. Reading stuff about, you know, like, I mean, all sorts of different stuff, like mindset. And that really, like, propelled me into just, like, going into business, right? Like, once I got that down, I was like, all right, I know that there's so much opportunity out in this world. I see, like, what I was surrounded by is just kind of like the typical, like, go to college, get a job, get married, like just the typical standard route, right? So I knew that there was way more out there than that, and that wasn't something that ever really interested me. So once I started, like, you know, reading more, like watching more YouTube videos, being around, like, or just trying to be around like-minded people, right? Because you can't find those people right away when you're first coming up. The struggle is trying to find people who you relate with, right? The struggle is trying to find people who hustle, people who are like, you know, trying to do more with their life.
The sad thing about it, man, you know, I agree with you 100%. The thing, I had to lose so many friends because they didn't see eye to eye. And it's sad because I like them. They're good people. Exactly, but the thing about it, they weren't hustlers. At one point, I'll never forget this day. I had a friend. His name's Arya. And Arya told I want to make YouTube videos at that point. I was a very ambitious content creator. I was like, Arya, let's go make YouTube videos. And he was like, I'll never forget this day. He was like, not today, bro. I want to go take a nap. Literally left me, went to go take a nap. I had no one to make YouTube videos with. And that's the day I knew I can't do this anymore.
That's the sort of stuff, man. I mean, when you're just surrounded by people that are lacking motivation, lacking a vision, lacking all of that sort of stuff, I would do what I did and just put your headphones on, listen to people that are, you know, preaching good things, preaching motivation, preaching mindset, preaching just more in abundance, right? If you keep surrounding yourself, if you're living in a house like with your parents, if you're just like, you know, around your friends that, you know, just smoking, drinking, like doing stuff, wasting their lives basically, you're never going to actually, you know, get around that frequency of high energy people. You're never going to attract that stuff into your life. So what the best thing you can do is just put headphones in, listen to things that, you know, are going to grow your mindset, get you to think in new ways, open your head, you know, open your mind up. And that's the way you can start the, you know, progression of it, right? Because now you're starting to, you know, your frequency's on that level, right? So now you're going to start attracting people that are hustling, that are doing the things you want to be in your life, right? If you keep hanging around, you know, everybody that you're doing, just keep doing the same thing, you're not going to actually get to where you know, see yourself or want to see yourself.
100% agree with that, man. Like, I always explain it to, like, anyone that always sits on this podcast, you know, you hang around with 5 rich people, you're going to be the 6th one. It's like, you know, It's just inevitable.
Right.
You hang out with 5 broke people.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's so true. Yeah. And I found it way more true, especially after I moved out of my parents' house about 3 or 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago. And, you know, once I started just getting out of my parents' house, getting around people who are doing what I'm doing, who are hustling, who are making money online, who are doing, you know, just a lot of different things where that energy's high, you find yourself, you know, having so many opportunities come your way that you didn't realize that would come your way. You have so many different things that, you know, just pop up, and
opportunities just keep coming.
Exactly.
Like, it's not even a problem trying to find someone that's, you know, willing to give you a chance. You know, I've even met you through this kind of opportunity. You know, I put myself in a position, I said, no, I'm not going to, you know, live this normal lifestyle. I'm not going to go make YouTube videos all day. I mean, I had to put my dream aside so I could, focus on my, entrepreneurship and my career.
Yeah.
So, but then after that, I'll be more than happy to chase content. But like at the end of the day, once I did start chasing, getting more serious when it comes to entrepreneurship, people understood that, people respected that. And I feel like, that's a lot of credibility when it comes to that,
No, 100%, 100%. And I think like once you start actually, like what you said, right? You lose friends when you're doing it, right? Because you have to separate yourself to start elevating. So if you're going to be, going out on Friday nights and, you just like hit up your friends and you're like, yo, I'm not going to do it tonight. That starts the trend, right? That starts like, okay, like why is he, leaving us? Like what's he doing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And they start to feel like kind of scared, right? And I think it's like comes from a point of like they almost want to be doing that too, but they just don't have that, like they don't want to jump yet, right? So it takes really jumping
Oh my God, that's so
off
true.
of a cliff, bro, and it really takes like going in into it just fully committed, right? You got to go all in. And that's the biggest thing. That's why I see a lot of people who start with drop shipping, start with e-commerce, why they fail is because they expect to just, put a couple hours in, like, oh yeah, I'm going to make this my side business. Yeah. I never like the word side business, bro, because that shows that you're not going fully committed into something, right? 100. Like side business means something that, you're just like doing it kind of like for fun, right? Like why would you do that if this has the money, side business has potential to make millions, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So why would you do something on the side that, could replace your job or what you're doing full time? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
So that's why I've always said if you're on the edge, you got to either jump or, go back. Exactly. I mean, and then go back. But I mean, there's not something wrong with people who have jobs. There's not something wrong with people that
absolutely, yeah.
Like if you want to take time, go stack some money, invest in yourself some more and do it comfortably where you're not, wondering how you're going to pay for everything. That's how you kind of, will start an entrepreneurship, right? Like the struggle's real.
The window that basically gave me that opportunity to take entrepreneurship more seriously is when I rejected everything. There's this moment in my life where I rejected going to friends, going to see people, going to parties, going to events, doing everything. Now, I didn't even go outside the beach at this point. I literally rejected everything and I said, listen, I'm going to become this six-figure earner whether I like it or not.
Exactly.
And I didn't give myself an option. Once you give yourself an option.
No options.
That's a party or should I go work for 6 hours? Once you give yourself an option, your friends are usually going to peer pressure you into taking the worst one,
right,
which is the party. So the one thing I did is I rejected that kind of stuff. I didn't even let it come to me. You call my phone, Joe Schmo calls my phone, yo, bro, let's go to this party. I don't even answer that call because I already know it's going to be bad news,
Exactly, bro. And I think that's a big thing, man. Like if once you get to that point in your mind where it's like you're not going back, you're not turning around, you'll actually like look forward to doing work. You'll actually look forward to progressing your business, progressing your life over going out. Because now like, I mean, once you hit that stage, I hit that stage pretty early, man, of like parties and like going out, like just hanging out with friends, like doing stupid stuff. Like you can only do so much of that. And then you realize, okay, like I have to be in control of my life, right? Like I have to be the one taking initiative to grow my life into what I want it to be. My friends around me aren't going to do that for me. My friends are just trying to have fun. My friends are just, like they can be good friends, but they're not going to be the ones actually making shit happen for my life. So if you want to be the one if you want to do things, if you want to be the one to stand out in your group, if you want to be the one to actually, do big things in your life, you got to separate yourself from what you're surrounded by. As hard as it is and as good as the friends they are, you definitely need to just go ghost for a little while.
Yeah.
And that means like staying fully committed. What I always like to say is like take 6 months, whatever business model interests you, right? Like let's say trading, let's say Forex, let's say, Shopify, there's anything, right? Social media marketing, any of this sort of stuff that, you can do online. I would say pick a business model because they all work. Everybody likes to say like, what's the best one? They all work. Everybody's making money doing each one. Pick one. Go all in on it in 6 months and
just watch what happens.
Watch what happens.
Yeah.
That means cutting all negativity from your life, cutting all time wasting from your life,
bad habits.
Exactly, and really just focusing on leveling up. And even if you come out of that 6 months making $0 or losing money, you now have 6 months of experience in something that you didn't have before, right?
Exactly.
And now you have maybe more connections, maybe more money to do something else with, right? So I always like to say, like, pick 6 months, man, and just go all in on it. Like, you have nothing to lose. We're young, like, especially if you're under 25, under 30.
Nothing. I mean,
you have literally nothing to lose.
Exactly. You don't have no family. I mean, not yet. I mean, I don't know.
But you don't have
exactly.
odds of you having a family is really low. You know, odds of you having a lot of responsibilities is really low when you're in your young 20s. And honestly, you know, it's time right now to take big risks and dedicate your time to specific things, and just see what happens. Worst case scenario, you go back to school. I mean,
exactly. And that's the thing. Like I always tell my friends this. Like a couple of my friends are just wondering like how I'm doing what I'm doing. Right? They haven't really.
I get the same thing.
Yeah, they get how. It's always like how. They never like want to actually learn. It's just like how. Right? And what I just tell them, man, is like, look, we live in a time like we're the first generation able to like actually make money from our phones, like make money from our laptops. Like, why would you not go all in on that?
Exactly.
Like, we have the opportunity to make money anywhere in the world just from our laptop, creating our own life. And people are still doing just the normal route and playing it safe, right?
Crazy.
But, like, we only have one life, man. Like, why would you sit here and just do something that is going to make you comfortable when you really know you should be trying something else, right? Like, that's where it's like for me, man, it's like, you got to take advantage of what we have right now. We're so blessed to like live in this age. We're so blessed to like be able to have this opportunity.
I feel like a lot of people do want to do that.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people want to chase dreams and stuff like that, but there's a lot of pressure on parents and socials, like society norms.
100%.
Social norms where you have to do this. If you're not doing this, you're a failure.
Right.
People look down on you, your aunties, your uncles, your family.
Right.
I'm coming from a Middle Eastern background. It's so hard because they're so judgmental. It's like, I think this most judgmental like ethnicity.
100%. Yeah. And I mean, I was super lucky to have parents who like understand business, understand like not going to college because I never went to college. So they understood it. They pushed it for me. They always said like, you should go, you should do this, like have it in your back pocket type of thing. Right. But that goes back to, you know, not going all in. I don't want to have a degree in my back pocket to realize like, oh yeah, I could just go get a job. I want to go all in, man. I don't want to feel like I have a safety net. I don't want to feel like I'm doing this half-ass. I want to go 100% into it. 100%. So, I mean, I was lucky to have parents who understood that. And then once I started making money, they started seeing results. You know, they're fully supportive now. But that comes back to, like, if you got negativity around you, even your parents, like, you can love your parents, but you have to really just, like, put your headphones in and start attracting the things you want in your life to come to you, right? You can't just sit there and say, you know, oh, my parents don't want this. Like, if you look at it in a negative way, you're just going to keep attracting negative things, right? So you have to definitely just say, look, I'm going to be doing this. If they don't support it, then, I mean, you got to, like, do as much as you can to just get out of the house, listen to other things that are pushing you where you want to go, or, you know, just getting around the people that are going to, like, support that with you.
Yeah, that's so true. This whole, like, you know, the degrees, it's just, I feel like it's just like, it's like a propaganda in a way.
Oh,
I really feel like the society, like government, everyone, they just want educated people. I want educated people, but they don't want a lot of rich people. It's just the thing about it, you know.
And people who like don't think for themselves, right, man? Like that, I think that's the biggest thing. Like as an entrepreneur, we have to. Everything's on us, right? Everything is making. You know, everything comes back to us. We're like firefighting. We're putting out all these different problems all the time. We have all of these things that come to us, and that causes us to really think. Like we're you know, we're really thinking for ourselves, and we're really, you know, being creative of like new ways we can do things. And if you're stuck in that, just like, here's what you do it by this time, do it at this, like somebody telling you what to do constantly.
You're a little machine.
You're just a machine, exactly. Yeah. And I mean, obviously, like, we need people like that. We need people that are, you know, doctors, lawyers, like all of this sort of stuff that are, you know, actually helping society a lot. But the people that are just going to college to go and going to, you know, in a depressing way where it's like, yeah, I think I'm just going to do this. Yeah, you know, like I'm going to, like, they don't really feel excitement about life when they, you know, deep down know they should be doing something else.
Yeah. I have a friend right now, and he's in UCR, his third year bachelor's degree. Yeah. He's getting his MBA. And this guy's he's getting his business degree. And he has a business that's doing literally like $20, $40 a month. He has a clothing brand. And I'm trying to explain to him, listen, how does that even make sense? You have a business degree, and you know you're doing like what, a couple like $100 a month. You should be like, you know, utilizing your time and stuff like that. Even if you learn a tool in school or anything like that, it's not going to be like, you know, translated to real life. You know, you can't teach someone how to ride a bike. At the end of the day, I always explain it like that. So you can't read a book about entrepreneurship. You have to go out and actually do it.
Yeah, you have to do it, exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing. When I said like reading books, when I said watching YouTube videos, it didn't stop there. That was just the start of it.
Exactly.
That's where a lot of people get caught up too. They think
like, oh, it's so easy. Let me just watch a YouTube video. Okay,
yeah, they feel all good for a little bit, and then they go right back into their bad habits. So I committed to doing whatever it took, like whatever I was learning, I committed to, first of all, I have like notebooks and notebooks of notes and like all of this sort of stuff that I learned at a young age. And, I took it super seriously and I put it into action. So my first business when I was like 16, I just bought a drone and I decided to go take like aerial photography of like just like real estate agents, like cities, parks, like all this sort of stuff.
16?
At 16, man. And this is like when it kind of changed everything for me. Like when I went like all into business, because I can remember like I got on my first cold call, like super nervous.
Yeah.
Like I'm 16. I'm like, I have no idea what I'm saying, no idea what I'm selling. Like this is my first call.
Really?
And I'm literally like, hey, would you want like aerial photographs of this? And like, she's like, yeah, we actually would. And I was like,
Ooh.
wait, it's
First
this easy?
call?
And I was like, and she's like, yeah, could you send over the invoice and like when you'll get it done? And I was like, are you serious? Like I didn't say this, but I was like, this happened like this easily. So literally I got off the call, sent over an invoice for $1,200.
What the heck?
And I literally she paid it the same day, and I literally made $1,200 on my first cold call like ever in business.
Insane. That's an amazing story. That's crazy. What the heck?
When I did that, I was like, okay, like I have to go in business, right? Like I can't be like, do you know how long like all my friends at that time like working for $1,200? That's like a month of work. Like doing like listening to someone, like having to get up at time, like all that sort of stuff that I didn't like, because I'm really like taking control of my life and being independent and like setting my own schedule, right? That was like really big to me. That was the main goal of mine. So when I had that was just like a breakthrough for me. I was like, okay, I really need to go in on business, like whatever that is. I didn't know ecom yet. That was like a few months after that, but that's when it like everything changed for me.
Speaking of ecom, how did you transition? So who introduced you to ecom? Was it just YouTube videos?
YouTube videos, yeah.
So you transitioned from this, this drone like business that you had going on, and then you started looking at ecom.
Right.
So you got introduced at what point? Was it in the peak of dropshipping, or was it like
It was. I mean, dropshipping's been like a thing. I think it really started popping off is like right when I got started.
Really?
Like in a social media way, like with YouTube videos, like
millions.
Yeah, exactly. It was, and if I knew what I knew now back when I started, I mean, it would be crazy. Like the amount of opportunity that was around, like right when I started, what I didn't know yet because I was so new to it, is crazy. But I mean, there's still obviously is a ton of opportunity in ecom, but it was just so much easier back then.
It definitely is, because a competition just advances after year after year.
Oh, 100%, man.
And you have to keep standing out from more and more and more people.
Well, I remember like looking at like when I got started, like looking at people who would do like 12K in a month, and I'd be like, oh damn, like this is insane, man. And now it's like 100, 200, 300K a month is like pretty normal. Average, it's not like it's not anything crazy. So I got started when it was like pretty new. I wouldn't say like a few years before that was probably when it was like brand new. But yeah, once I like I said, I always wanted the freedom. I always wanted to travel, and I always wanted to set my own schedule. Like that was like the biggest thing. I just wanted financial freedom. That was like my main goal.
Yeah, you don't be locked down.
When I had that business that I was running before, I had to be in a certain area, and that's why I was like, okay, I need to figure out how I can make money from my phone. So I started trading during that time too. So trading stocks, that's kind of when I got into stocks as well. And then really just transitioned like fully into ecom. I had my first store, I think when I was 16 or 17, and it didn't see any success for the first like 3 months, right? Was testing in different products. My stores looked super bad, really basic ads, made a few sales, but nothing like crazy.
Did you ever buy a course or anything like that?
No, I actually never did. I bought a course after my first store did good. I actually bought Dan De Silva's course, if you know who that is. After my first store did like 20K in a month, I was selling like essential oil diffusers, and that was like it did pretty well. Didn't make like a ton of. I think I made like 3 or 4K profit on it, but I had like my first like 22K month, and then after that I was like, okay, I need to take this really seriously. Like this is crazy.
So you saw the numbers, and then you're like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
So give advice to someone that's just trying to start into drop shipping. It's coronavirus season right now.
Best time. Best time.
But a lot of people have excuses that like Chinese suppliers are not going to be supplying. I don't want to get in, or it's going to be too hard right now because everyone's selling online and Amazon. I have to compete with Amazon. What do you say to those type of people? And like what kind of advice would you give them?
I mean, there's always going to be people with excuses. Like the people with excuses are the people that you won't see with the results. But right now you're seeing people with results, right?
Yeah.
So those people are doing it. So if the people with results are doing it, then all of those excuses mean nothing, right? So it's just a limiting belief. And honestly, like, yeah, that stuff can happen, but as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, it's your job to improvise, to adapt, and figure out how to make it work.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some roadblocks and stuff that can happen right now, but what I like to focus on, like what you said with like suppliers, right? I build out a really strong relationship with my suppliers, like right in the beginning. I message them, get them on WhatsApp, talk to them, make sure like, you know, they're able to fulfill, make sure that, you know, they've been in business for a little while so that they're not going to just like dip. There's a lot of different things that I like to make sure before I like move forward with a product. But once I do that, man, like now is the time, like everybody's inside, everybody's, you know, still getting paid for the most part, and they're looking on their phones constantly, right? So right now is, I would say, the best time to start with e-commerce. All my clients, all my stores are, you know, just have been doing amazing recently. So I would say that, you know, I mean, yeah, there's stuff that can happen with suppliers, with coronavirus popping up, all this sort of weird stuff going on. But all in all, like now is the best time.
Yeah. Same thing with everything though. Like there's always going to be that person that gives you an excuse of why he failed.
Exactly.
Yes, the government told me I couldn't do it, or I got a letter in the mail that said blah blah blah. You know,
exactly.
There's always gonna be that one certain percentage of people that always will bring an excuse. In my life,
and that's just low energy, and what that attracts is just even more bad things, and it just compounds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You get one thing, make excuses, your life's, you know, falling into pieces, and then you just have more excuses to fall into more bigger pieces.
Exactly.
The thing about me, my whole life, I always held myself accountable. I don't care. My car gets crashed right now by a drunk driver. I'm not gonna say, oh man, it was his fault, I should have left my car. You know, I'm gonna say that you know what? It's my fault because I didn't put my car in the garage. Same thing, you know.
Yeah.
I went to sleep at like 5 a.m. No, it's my fault because I went to sleep at 5 a.m. You know.
No, 100%.
I always hold myself accountable. I'll never make an excuse. You will never hear an excuse from this mouth.
Oh yeah. So the excuse is like, I don't know any business owners that have, you know, excuses pop up or like that don't take full responsibility for their lives, right? As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you have to, right? Like otherwise you're going to just, I mean, your business won't succeed, first of all, because then you think that you're not in control of your business. You have to be fully in control of everything. You have to realize that everything is your fault. Everything comes back to you, whether it's the good or bad, right? You have to definitely take accountability and be there for, you know, everything that pops up. So that's why I'd say, like, if you're, you know, making excuses, you know, blaming other people for things, blaming, you know, the president, the government, the coronavirus, any of this stuff, like everything like that is literally just a mindset that's holding you back from actually starting. And it's never going to actually get you the results you want because you're projecting negativity in the world. So even if you like went and tried with a negative attitude or with a negative way of like blaming a lot of things, you're not going to even get to where you want to be because you're not on that wavelength of, you know, success, abundance, and, you know, actually, you know, attracting good things in your life.
I agree 100%. Yeah. Yeah, same thing with me. Like I said, never made an excuse. I mean, I used to, and that's when I was poor. You see, as soon as I stopped making excuses, I'm not poor anymore.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it's that easy. It's not a complex like model or anything like that. But yeah, so I want to know your opinion on what are some new developing industries that people, you know, should start looking into. Because a lot of people, you know, are still doing, you know, e-com, Amazon, SMMA, whatever it is, FBA, whatever it is. But is there anything new? Because you're already in the e-com side of things. Is there a new dropshipping 2.0? Is there anything that's like more like, you know, advanced that you're looking into getting into?
So, I mean, dropshipping is just a fulfillment model, right? And like a lot of people like get confused with this, or it's like, oh yeah, what's like does dropshipping still work? Dropshipping is always going to work. It's just the way I fulfill my products. So let's say I have, you know, a supplier in China and he's selling this product for $2. I'm going to sell that. Let's say it's a phone case. I'm going to sell it on my site for $20. So now that's $18 profit in between because I'm paying him $2 for that phone case. So when I get an order, that supplier is just going to ship it straight to the customer. So see, that model is going to always be around. Dropshipping is always going to be there. But the way we do it is evolving, obviously. So like you're saying, like all of these different industries, they do work. Like I was saying before, like they're all going to work. SMMA, FBA, dropshipping, trading, all of this sort of stuff is going to keep working. It's just constantly being able to adapt and do things that are new, right? So like Facebook's changing a lot of things. So you can do new types of Facebook ads all the time, right? You can test a lot of different things, and you can really improve like branding. Branding is becoming super important now. So I would say like right now, really focus on just branding overall. Like that's kind of like what I'm transitioning into with a lot of my brands, is creating a really strong brand that cares about their customers, that has fast shipping times, that has good customer service, all of that sort of stuff, right? That's going to be how you stand apart right now, just because there's so many people who like start these just crappy drop shipping stores. They look scammy, and then they don't get their products for like a month or two later, and it just leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth for drop shipping and for just like buying things online, right? So the way to stand apart from that is, create a legitimate business and treat it like a business online, right?
Of course.
And don't actually just like think you're just selling cheap Chinese crap to people that don't need it. Like you got to actually find a product that solves a problem, find a product that people genuinely will want and use, and if you can sell that at a good price, fast shipping, and treat your customers right, then you're gonna blow up into a big brand.
So you're really thinking branding is more important than just a product.
100%. Everybody comes to me saying like, oh yeah, what's the next winning product? What's what is this product good? Like there can be trendy products, and definitely you can hop on trends and make a lot of money, but if you're growing a brand, that's gonna build, that's brand equity you're building. You're building a strong customer base, something that you can sell later on, because you're building a lot of value and a lot of trust around this certain brand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Same thing with me. So like developing industries when it comes to that. If for anyone of the viewers that don't know what I do social media marketing. So it's been the same thing for like a while now. Facebook, Instagram, ads, this, that. But now there's this new developing industry called a TikTok, and now people want to get promoted on a TikTok, app.
Maybe not for long though.
But no, Microsoft is buying TikTok, so now it's gonna be sustainable. Now
we'll
it's
see what
gonna be
happens
here.
there.
So I'm already bought Microsoft stock just for y'all if you were wondering. But so TikTok, I mean, if it does stay around, if not, then there's always going to be the next platform.
Yeah.
But like for social media marketing, there's always going to be that next platform that you can go ahead and promote and make millions off.
Well, there's always ways. That's what I was saying. Like our job to stay in this game and win is to improvise, and that's the biggest thing. Like if you can constantly adapt, change, and pivot like better than anybody else, then you're gonna be the one winning. Exactly. Because so many people get caught up in what they're doing, and they're scared to change their ways. They're scared to try new things, especially as a business owner. Like if you don't have that testing mentality where it's like, I'm gonna test this, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then it's on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Then I mean, you're not gonna go too far, because you have to test, and like keep trying new things. Because otherwise you're gonna just be following somebody else, right? Like if you want to actually create success and create something that's gonna be huge, you got to be able to take the risks and
that other people are not willing to take yet, but they will jump on it in a couple of months. But you will be the first one in that 100%. Industry. Yeah, same with me, man. I really personally think that taking risks and being the first, or not being the first, but being like taking the risk and trying to be the first,
right.
or being a new
I heard this from Ty
industry.
Lopez. It's not good to be the first, but you also don't want to be the last. Right, because if you're the first, now you got to go through all these learning curves and figure out how to do this exactly the right way. But you want to be right behind that person.
Exactly.
You want to learn exactly what he did, see what he did, and reverse engineer it to a point where you're actually doing it better than he is, and not doing it first. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So example, like developing industries, all the freaking richest people in this world are going into developing industries. I mean, they were the first, I guess, but the people right behind them, no one talks about, but the developing industry people are lit. Like just look at Jeff Bezos, man. He literally changed the world with this whole Amazon thing. And Elon Musk, for example, man, electric cars. No one even talked about electric cars like 10 years ago, Yeah. So it's just something like these industries, but then these industries can change for a lot of different things. So the car industry now, all Ford, Chevy, all these different car companies are now trying to transcend to electric as well. Exactly. So those developing industries bring other competitors in, and now it makes a new whole industry. It's insane. It's weird how business works. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. It's with Elon.
Yeah.
Elon's just like
Man.
I look up to a couple of people. Elon's one of them for sure.
He's definitely mine, bro. Yeah. Like, this guy doesn't even like act like a human. That's how you know, man. And he's on a whole other level when it comes to optimization. 100%. Like, I would love to like spend like one day with him just to figure out what he does throughout the day, man. This man thinks differently, dude.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't think like a normal person. He thinks like 10 steps ahead.
He's that committed to going to Mars. Like, that's how you know.
Like, how do you like tell yourself one day, you're a little kid from South Africa, you know, hey, I'm gonna go to Mars one day and I'm gonna build a space company that's gonna compete with NASA. Like, how does that even How does it even start, man? Oh my goodness, that guy is just really, really cool. I commend him for that.
No, I respect it. That's why it's like he just takes his thoughts and goes with it.
Yeah, he doesn't take.
And that shows like that's what we were talking about before, right? Like, he sees a vision, right? He sees it in his head. He's made it real already. He's already done these things in his mind, and he's just catching up to it now in his his life, right? Yeah. So that's where you got to get to, right? With crazy things like that, like going to Mars, creating a new car company, like doing
boring company,
the tunnels, all these different things. Like, that doesn't just happen. Yeah. That doesn't just like come about. Yeah. You have to be there already mentally. Yeah. So like that's why he's like the king of this, because he's taking crazy ass ideas.
Yeah, he believes in
making it happen.
He believes in it exactly, like, fully. Like, he doesn't think, oh man, I hope this works. He knows it's gonna work, and he's gonna put every single thing, all of his time and energy into making sure it works. Yeah. Same thing with Jeff Bezos, man. Like, a lot of people, hate him. He's like the richest man in the world, but you don't understand. Like, this man literally is helping other people win. Like, look at all these people that are selling on Amazon. They're being able to feed their families. Exactly. So at the end of the day, when someone says, "Man, he's an evil person. No one likes him," like, look at all these opportunities bringing in. Exactly. Just because he worked hard.
He's got. I mean, think of all the employees that he has working for him. Yeah. Making money. Think of all the people selling on Amazon. Exactly. Think of all the people, making affiliate money through Amazon. Like, there's so many different things that, he's given people. And people like to look at, like, his net worth. But, like, it's not like he's sitting on, $130 million or something? Something crazy. It's not like he's, like, sitting on that cash, right? That's a net worth. So it's, like, it's taking into account, like, what Amazon's worth, what is, like, stock, like, all of his assets, things like that, right? So, I mean, it's not like he's, like, just sitting on, $130 million and saying, screw you to everybody. It's like he's actually provided $130 million or $130 billion worth of value to the world. Yeah. So that's just coming back to him in money and the company's growth and all of that sort of stuff, because he's actually creating just a good company, a big company that is solving a lot of problems and helping a lot of people.
Yeah, and I'm sure when you talk to Mr. Bezos about excuses, he's gonna be the last one to make an excuse.
Yeah, exactly. Man, dude, have you seen that the picture of him in like 1999 or whatever working, and then like now he's just like some badass with like sunglasses on. He's like jacked,
full on jacked and everything like that. Man, but I really feel like that that level of wealth, it's crazy. Yeah. I feel like he has a lot of crazy stuff going on. So yeah, man, that Jeff Bezos guy is really, really crazy. Sorry guys, we had a little interruption. AC guy's here. He needs to make a little repair. It was leaking like crazy.
Ceiling might fall, but it's all good.
Might fall in the video, so I mean, if it does, you saw it first. Yeah. But anyways, bro, so I want to dive into what you're representing as an e-commerce person. So do you only do e-commerce, or do you help other people start stores or anything like that? What are you doing necessarily right now?
Yeah, so a majority of my time is on e-commerce. I have other investments with trading and stuff like that I don't really focus on. It's more long-term type stuff. Yeah. But yeah, what I'm focusing on right now is my brands and my clients' brands. So I have clients that work with us that want to invest in e-commerce stores, and we basically have a fully automated team that takes care of everything. So we have all of the systems down to where somebody can, they want to get started in e-commerce, but let's say they're like a dentist or something, right? They just want to have another income source. They can invest with us, and we have all the systems down to take care of, building and branding a store and, managing it and scaling it well.
So how many clients can you possibly have? Because I feel like this would be, why wouldn't you just do this for yourself?
Yeah, so I mean, I just have so many people. First of all, I run 2 brands myself. So that's what I like. Just me, I own those fully. But I have so many people coming to me saying they want to invest in stuff, right? Like, I have a lot of people just because of my following on social media, the connections I have. Like, I have a lot of older guys wanting to get that are business owners, get business, but they just don't get the new online digital age, right?
Yeah,
so
they're sitting on a lot of cash.
They're sitting on a lot of cash, right? They want to get invested into something, and what I've always heard, this is one of my mentors said this way back, is the biggest way you can make an impact on someone and just create more connections, more just good things happening, right? Is make somebody money. And if
Mm-hmm.
you can make somebody money, that's going to lead you into like so many more opportunities. It's going to lead you into just, seeing a lot more stuff. That's why like I have all these people coming to me and I didn't have something to offer before. So I've been doing e-commerce for 3 years. I have all the systems down and know exactly, how to run my own stores.
Yeah.
So I thought, why don't I provide this as a service for somebody else who wants to get started with it? We can all make money, and it's just help everybody gets, everybody eats. It's a just a crazy
these
thing.
Clients that you work with, like say a random doctor, he's like, yo man, take X amount of money, just build me a store.
Mm-hmm.
So what's like, the process of like, building it? Would you build a medical store? Would you build something else that just like, cash flows?
So we have a full team like that does like product research, that does the marketing, does the branding, the site design, the ad creation, all that sort of stuff. So everything is in-house. Like we have all that done when we take a new client on. So let's say we have a new client come in. Usually we have the whole site branded, done, and ready to launch with original content, everything within the first month. So that's kind of like what that process looks like. But when I'm taking on a new client, the goal is to get that get the margins right. Like a lot of people like to show like revenue, and a lot of people like to show screenshots of like, I made $100,000 this month on Shopify, but you're not actually making 100,000.
Yeah.
So with product costs and Facebook ad spend, a lot of people like literally break even on 100K or lose money. So we like to focus on just like keeping margins like around like 30%, if not even more. Obviously sometimes they can go like 15-20%, but if you're keeping decent margins and growing this brand correctly with good customer service, all the stuff that I said before, then it's a pretty easy game.
So these doctors that you're working with, they don't have to put in anything. Like they don't have to put in any time or effort.
Yeah, no time. So when somebody invests, they just basically leave it all up to our team, and then they get a percentage of the store and the payouts each month. So it works out pretty easy for us just because it's fully automated for myself and for the client. And I'm able to keep focusing on my brands that I'm building, and I'm able to work with clients and keep everybody
help provide a valuable service
Exactly.
for people that probably don't want to get in this industry but do have a lot of cash flow.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, say the doctor, he's like, man, I just want to retire and go live on an island for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So what does he do with his store? Does he have like ownership of the store, or do you own it, or how does that work right there?
Yeah, so we basically, we're obviously in communication with them, so like we'll talk about any issues, anything coming up. It's not like it's like but if you wanted to do that, we can sell the store. We could always sell it just because we brand it so well and create a good customer base. We can always sell the store, or you could just keep it because it's fully hands off for him. So like it's not like he needs to put any effort into
So
it.
is the contract or the clientele like their agreement for a specific time period, or is it forever? Or
It's forever. So as long as the store lasts. So if we could potentially run it for 2, 3, 4, 5 years plus. Or we could, sell the store after, 8 months just because it makes sense, right? Because sometimes you get really big offers, big
like buyouts and stuff
like that. Yeah. So just more of like whatever makes the most financial sense. And then, if we can keep it running profitably for as long as possible, like why wouldn't we, right? So there's a lot of different options we can do with it.
Wow. That's actually really cool because, I'm actually starting the same kind of thing. I'm doing SMMA, but I'm also offering people that are high ticket, like that want to get involved but don't really want to do the work. I have a team that actually could automate it too. I'm not in the process of you right now. I just got started. I've only have 2 clients.
Yeah.
But it's working really well. We already locked in the first couple like clients for them.
Right.
So my client already locked in a few, his clients. So now he's cash flowing, making a couple of $1,000s. And yeah, I'm just getting started with it, but I'm interested in that, whole business model.
Well, yeah,
cool
that's definitely a thing. Like when you're growing a business like that, getting all the systems and processes down to where it's a seamless flow of like, you don't have to put energy into it. That's why like in the beginning when you're building a business, right? Like you obviously don't want to like wait until perfection because like perfection never comes, but you want to get as close as you can to it by getting all of the systems down, making sure there's a process to follow for every little part of the business, right? Now you don't have to focus your energy on that, but it's going to be running for you automatically. So that's why building solid systems out, getting the right team in place is super important. And for me, it's just another business that I run. Obviously I'm not like in the trenches with this all day, just because I've trained my team right and know what to do with it. So it's just another source that, like you said, just is hands off for me, hands off for the client, and help everybody wins.
That's awesome. Yeah. So do you expect to keep going with this service? Do you expect to provide it to whoever, whenever?
No, we keep it really exclusive. Yeah, we keep it super exclusive. That's the thing. So we keep it, we limit to usually around 5 to 7 people per month. We don't like to take on a crazy amount of people just because, we have our own businesses we run. We have our own things that we focus on. So we don't want to just make this available to everybody. We want to make sure that the clients are, on the same page with us, that are, good people to work with. We see a relationship that can be built, right? We want to make sure all that's going to be, good. We don't want to just take whoever wants to invest.
Exactly, because I feel like a lot of companies, they get entangled with the whole numbers game. Oh my God, I have 50 clients that are paying me X amount of money. Let's do it. Let's bring in 60, bring in 70. Keep scaling. Yeah. But that's good that you're actually try to provide value to these people, but it's an exclusive amount of people. You don't want to just keep scaling and just whatever happens. And if they sue me, they sue me. I don't care. I'm making my money. You don't want to be that guy.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, but that's good that you stick true to your values, and you're actually providing a good service for X amount of people, and I commend you for that. That's awesome.
Appreciate it, bro.
I know you gotta leave soon. I know you're a busy man. You got all these clients. You got all this stuff to do. But Mr. John, I appreciate you for coming onto the podcast and explaining a little bit about you and who you are. I really appreciate it. You're more than welcome to hop on anytime you want. I'm sure the audience is going to love you. And, man, I just want to say thank you, man.
Appreciate you.
All right, guys. Listen, guys, we're going to end off the podcast right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been great. And, yeah, we'll catch you next time.